We now live in a world where less and less people believe in God. It's to a point where people that do believe are being shunned and ridiculed, yet most forget that both the United States and Canada were founded on Christian values. And it is because of these values that we became some of the freest countries on the planet. And it's with that in mind that today I want to ask you a very simple question. Is there a spiritual war going on?
This is the Nico Lagan Show. Warning. Warning. This show contains explicit content. Listener discretion is advised. Real, raw, and shooting you straight. This is the Nico Lagan Show. And now your host, Nico.
This episode of the Nico Lagan Show is brought to you by the Alpha Creator Blueprint. If you are a male content creator looking to take your brand to the next level using social media, check out tacblueprint.com and see how I generate millions of views every single month. My name is Nico Lagan, and I am a voice for common sense. I believe in accountability, manly men, feminine women, small governments, free speech, the Second Amendment, and God. As always, I want to hear from you guys. So I'm doing this live because I want to be able to have a conversation with you guys. So let me know if you have any questions, comments. I want to address them. I want to be able to have a conversation with anybody. I don't care. No, it's not true that I don't care. Good or bad, I want to hear from you guys. So never be shy to interrupt, to ask me questions. I'm there to interact with you guys. Now, before I get into this, I want to say that this is a bit different than the type of podcast that I normally do, because I don't, as much as I talk a lot about what's going on in the world, I talk a lot about my views. There's some things that I don't speak about as much, and my religious beliefs are part of that. I'm not your typical Christian. I wasn't raised in the church. Yes, I was baptized as a child, but that's something that everybody did back then. Like 42 years ago, people got baptized. That's why it was. My family is definitely not religious, and to this day, they aren't. So, truth be told, until about a year and a half ago, I could count on one hand the number of times I had been in church. Religion is not something that is popular in Canada, at least not anymore, which is quite ironic considering that this country was founded based on Christian values. But in 2022, my girlfriend and I, we left Canada. I quit my job as a sales engineer, and we went on exploring the US and Mexico. We went coast to coast to coast across 23 states, and we spent most of our time in what you guys call the Bible Belt. Yes, the most conservative parts of the US. Everywhere we went, we started attending church. One of my buddies introduced me to Christianity about a year and a half ago, brought me to church, and since then, we've been attending church every Sunday. And last year in Colorado, back in June, I got rebaptized. I repented and I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. But don't get me wrong. I did not find God last year. I've been spiritual for more than 10 years, and I think that's the case for a lot of the people out there. We know that there is something greater than ourselves. There is something bigger than just you and I. We just don't know how to put it into context. We don't understand quite what it means. And I was just like you. I did not understand the plays that God had to play. And until I stepped into a church, until I started reading the Bible, it didn't make sense to me. But since then, to say that my life changed would be an understatement, because everything changed. And the reason I'm talking about this today, the reason I'm bringing this up is that since I've got baptized, I've been paying more and more attention to what's going on around me. And I can tell you something, I do not like what I'm seeing. Like, ever since I got baptized, I started paying more attention. I was already pretty aware, but now I'm just looking at everything that's going on in the world. And my mind is blown. My mind is absolutely fucking blown. Like, for example, last week, there's an artist by the name of Bambie Thug, which is an Irish singer. She went on stage at the biggest competition in the world, Eurovision. And in front of millions of people, she performed a satanic ritual. If you haven't seen this video, Google it or go on my page. I posted a video about it, I think on Tuesday. But it is absolutely messed up. And not only did she go on stage in the biggest competition in the world, but there is one of the most influential politicians in Ireland, Simon Harris, that endorsed her, that said during an interview that he was proud of her and she made their country proud. Think about this for a second. You got a self-proclaimed witch that goes on stage in front of millions of people in the biggest singing competition in the world, Eurovision, performs a ritual, satanic ritual. She's on top of a satanic star. She's burning candles all around her. Her lyrics are literally talking about giving yourself to something. It's messed up. You need to check out this video. It is fucked up that this is not only allowed on TV, it's not allowed everywhere, but millions of people saw it. Thousands of people have commented on it. If you go on the YouTube channel of Eurovision, you can find the video there. This is where I took the video from. But what's the most fucked up are the comments. People are actually enjoying the video. They're saying that it's brilliantly made, it's beautiful, the camera work is amazing, her song is great. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, hold on here. I get in trouble on YouTube and on every single social media out there, by the way, if I say that a man should be masculine and a woman should be feminine, but you can have a self-proclaimed witch performing a satanic ritual on stage in front of millions of people, and that video is getting hundreds of thousands of views, if not millions, and it's totally acceptable. It blows my mind. Not very often am I speechless, but when I saw that, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I put you to the test. Go check it out. Go check out the video and tell me how comfortable you are after that video. Tell me that you looked at this and you like, oh, that was very cinematic. What a great video. Or you're looking at this and you're like, what the fuck am I watching here? And she's not the first one. Like, this has been happening for years. Like, you got a guy like Sam Harris out of the US that performs dressed up as the devil. And that's totally acceptable. That's totally normal. Parents somehow are okay with the fact that their children and teenagers are watching this shit. But again, I get in trouble for talking about masculinity, for talking about God. I get in trouble on social media, but it's totally acceptable to have satanic people in front of the camera spewing their garbage. That's totally, totally normal. It gets worse. Did you guys see the new painting of King Charles? Yes, the King of England showed a picture of him with the new painting that he had done. It's literally him in a military outfit surrounded by red. It literally looks like he's in hell surrounded by flames. Like, I'm telling you, this is really messed up. But you should check it out. Go Google Bambie Thug video Eurovision. Go check out the painting that King Charles just had made. And tell me this is not fucked up. Tell me that this is not at least weird or strange to you. That if you look at this, you're like, oh yeah, that's totally normal. Please go check it out and tell me. Tell me, just contact me on any social, send me a message, send me a comment, whatever. I want to know what you guys think. Tell me right now if you have the time. Go check it out. It's really messed up. But once again, it gets worse. It really is getting worse. Like just this morning, I posted a video about this. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check my socials. Once again, it's there. But there's breaking news that the Satanic Temple, a church organization by the name of the Satanic Temple, you heard that right, announced that they will try to put some of their ministers in public schools. I don't know if you heard about the new bills that are soon to become law, if they're not law already, that Governor DeSantis passed in Florida. The ones where they are establishing a statewide school chaplain program, which would authorize school district and charter school to allow volunteers, chaplain, to be on school campuses. So basically, they will have representative of churches on school again. That's what the bill is allowing schools to do. The Satanic Temple is going to take advantage of that new bill, and they're going to try to put satanic ministers in the public school. Like they want to put satanic ministers in the public school system in Florida. Never did I ever think that this would be a possibility. That it actually goes against against the American Constitution if they block this. So chances are that unless something really big happens, you will see satanic ministers in the public school system in Florida. Think about this for a second. Did you ever imagine that this would even be possible? That this would ever happen in your lifetime? I gotta tell you, this is something that blows my fucking mind. I cannot believe that this shit is actually happening and that people are in agreement with this. But once again, it gets worse. Just if you're not aware of who the Satanic Temple is, it's a full-fledged church. It is a recognized church. You can Google the Satanic Temple, check out their website. I invite you to do it because it will blow your mind. It is absolutely messed up. What they're doing is absolutely fucked up. But not only are they going to be capable of putting ministers out there, but they are challenging all the states in the US that recently passed laws against abortion. They're going to challenge them because, as per the values of that church, it is a religious right for the women in that church to get an abortion. So they are fighting the government to get abortion rights become a religious right. And as per a lawyer, I cannot remember what his name is, but I was listening to an interview with a lawyer this morning, and he was saying that they're actually quite intelligent. The guy that started this and whoever the lawyers are helping the Satanic Temple are actually very smart. They're actually brilliant. They know exactly what they're doing. And chances are they're going to be successful. I don't even know what to say about this. I'm so puzzled by all of this that it's hard for me to imagine this. As I was getting prepared for this show this morning, I was just, it blows my mind. It's very hard for me to accept that this is happening. We get witch performing rituals on stage at Eurovision. We got guys like Sam Harris that performs in devil outfits. We have guys like King Charles that has a painting of him that looks like he's literally in hell. We got a church called the Satanic Temple that is trying to put satanic ministers in the school system in Florida. They're trying to make abortion a religious right. And if that wasn't enough, and that's for my American friends out there, if that wasn't enough, this is for you guys. This is a warning for my American friends. In Canada, our Prime Minister, Justin fucking Trudeau, is trying to pass a bill that would remove religion's exception from the criminal code, meaning that religion speech would no longer be protected by the criminal code. This means that a pastor could go in the streets, preach the Bible. If this is heard by somebody that doesn't like what he's hearing, he could claim hate speech, which would put the preacher in front of a judge where he could face prison time for preaching the Bible. Canada is trying to pass a bill that will make it illegal under hate speech for a pastor to preach the Bible, to quote the Bible because you're hurting somebody's feelings. Think about this for a second. This is the equivalent, for my American friends out there, this is the equivalent of saying that freedom of religion is no longer protected under free speech. It's really messed up. It's really, really messed up that we live in a world where people performing evil are not even trying to hide it anymore. Not only that, but we have governments that are encouraging them. So it's okay for half-naked guys to parade in front of children during Pride. It's okay for trans to go to school and have those trans speaking hours where they're talking directly to our kids. It's okay for the government to reassign, to start giving children medication, and I'm air quoting here, medication to help our kids transition to a different gender, but it's not okay for a preacher to quote the Bible anymore. Technically, a guy like me is going to get in trouble. That's for sure. There's no doubt about it. I know this, that talking about what I'm talking right now, if that bill is passed in Canada, I'm fucked. I'm going to probably get arrested and be thrown in jail for hate speech. And as per Jordan Peterson and a lawyer that was on his show last week or 2 weeks ago, this is all done anonymously. I would not even know who would be complaining about this. And considering that my content gets millions of views every month, I'm going to be in shit, and it's not going to be very hard for people to complain. This is the world we live in now. This is where you're going, and this is a fair fucking warning for you Americans out there. If you think that this is crazy, this is happening on your northern border. This is going to leak through the border if you don't do something about this. This problem is not going away. Look at fucking California. You think California is fucked up? You think California is crazy? Canada's like California on steroids. But it turns out that chances are, if a lot of liberals in your country have their way, this is going to become a reality for you guys. The Satanic Temple is going to be, chances are, a participant in this. So don't think that what I'm talking about is foreign because I'm talking about something that's happening in Canada. This is literally something that could happen in your country unless you guys do something. Think about it. The only reason this whole nightmare is going on right now is because good people like us have done nothing. We let it happen because we thought it was just a phase. Like we're literally like parents with an annoying kid, right? We're just like, he'll grow out of it. Unfortunately, they did not. So now we're in a situation where it's getting bad. And it's everywhere. This is what messes with my head the most, is the fact that people are not even hiding it anymore. Like 20 years ago, you would have never thought about people performing in devil's outfit, having rituals on stage, having a king of one of the most powerful country in the world have a painting of him that looks like he's in hell, having organization like the Satanic Temple trying to change laws everywhere. Not only is that a reality, but we're letting it happen and they're protected by the law. It's very, don't get me wrong. I want those people to be doing what they're doing in the open because I want to be aware of it. I'm a firm believer in free speech. I believe in 100% free speech. Nothing should be considered hate speech. Everything should be allowed to be said at any given time because I want to see what people are thinking. I want to see where people's head are at. I want to understand what people are trying to do because I want to prevent it. I want to do something against it. And unless it's out in the open, we're never going to hear about it. But this is where we are. Now it's out in the open. It's everywhere you look. This is happening. There's evil going on everywhere. And people are just accepting it. Or they're just letting it happen. Because just like me a few years ago, I just worked, did my stuff, continued doing what mattered to me. And those things didn't really matter because they didn't affect me directly. But now I could literally, if this bill is passed in Canada, I could literally be in prison for saying something that hurts somebody's feelings. This is a fair warning to you guys. This is a fair warning to my American friends out there that this could be a reality for you guys if you're not careful. Let me tell you something. There is a spiritual war going on. Like it or not, you're involved. If you don't like what's going on right now around you, do something about it. Because we can't let it go unchecked like we've been doing for years now. Good people need to stand up, need to speak up, and they need to do something about this, or else it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better by itself. So if this makes sense to you, if you're hearing what I'm saying, it's up to you to do something. You have the power to do something. You could do as simple as what I'm doing. Speak up about it. Just say what you really think and fuck what people think. Because we need to be able to speak this before it gets to a spot where we can change it. That being said, I always want to finish on a good note. I always want to bring some positivity into this world because I would not be helping anything if all I did was to point out what's going wrong. So there's two things I want to talk about. I want to talk, I don't know if you guys can see my shirt. It says free hugs. The reason I'm wearing this shirt is during the COVID lockdowns, I actually gave, in Canada, we weren't allowed within 6 feet of each other. And as somebody that's unvaccinated, I basically couldn't go anywhere. I was able to go to the grocery store and I was able to go to the pharmacy. I could not go to the gym. I could not go to the restaurant. I could not go to the movie theaters. I couldn't go anywhere. I was basically not allowed to see anybody I didn't live with. You know what I did during that time? I gave hugs to people. There was a bunch of protests. There's some protests where there was more than 100,000 people there. And I showed up with a free hug sign and I just hugged people. I just wanted to do something that would bring positivity. So I hugged people and I gave thousands and thousands of hugs during a COVID lockdown. You have the power to do the same. This is exactly why I'm wearing this shirt today. Because I'm gonna go to, as soon as this is done, I'm gonna go to the gym, and you know what? I will wear this shirt, and hopefully I can bring positivity to people's life. It really is that simple. And we forget how powerful hugs are. I'm not saying you should hug people without asking them, obviously, but all I'm saying is small random acts of kindness can change somebody's world. So be aware of that. We live in a really, really bad... There's a lot of evil in this world, but there's a lot of good people like you guys and I. And it's up to us to make this place better. So if you don't see good people in your life, be that good person. Be the change you want to see in the world. Second, I want to say that I'm actually very happy to see some celebrities starting to get baptized. Like Russell Brand, Kat Von D, man, who else did it? Hulk Hogan. So there's, as much as I'm complaining and as much as I'm talking about the bad that's in this world, it seems to me that some people are waking up. It really seems like people are finally starting to see what's going on, because there are a lot of people like me that sit somewhere in the middle. I'm not left, I'm not right leaning, I'm somewhere in the middle. I believe in common sense. And it's my feeling, and I have no proof to say that. I have no proof to back it up, but this is the conversations I'm having. This is what I'm seeing. People seem to be waking up. So thank God for that. That's it for me. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for commenting on my stuff, for liking my posts, for interacting with me. I am very grateful for every single one of you. And if you liked this episode, make sure to like, comment, share, follow, and send me some messages. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys think. On that note, I'm going to close out with a prayer. God, thank you for everything that you do for us. We are grateful for all our blessings. Please help us find the courage to stand up for what we know is right, the words to speak what needs to be said, and the will to continue to help and serve others. Amen.